Okay, awesome. All right, so don't miss this. So I just want to give a fantastic shout out to our VPK programs. 25 provider performance metric designations for the year, program year 24-25, that's the school year program year. Riddick Collier Elementary scored a 99 out of 100 for their performance metric. That's the highest in the state. It just had to be said. It just had to be said. And then we have a 8th Street Elementary with a 90, Besden Elementary with an 82, and then we have not one, not two, not three, not four, but 5 of our private child care providers who all scored an 80. And that was the highest score for our private child care providers. And that's Creative Christian Preschool and Learning Center. What? Kids Zone Learning Center, Little Gemstones Academy, Tiny Tykes Child Care, and Whiz Kids Learning Academy. And Ward's Highland Elementary School also scored an 80. So I just had to, put that out there. So out of 90 VPK providers, we had 36 that scored excellent and 20 above expectations and 21 that met expectations. Fantastic, y'all. Shout out to you. What a way to celebrate 20 years of VPK. So just had to put that out there. And now I'm going to see if our guest speaker, Miss Shelley Payne, is available. Go for it.
Perfect. All right, well, I'll get started. My name is Shelley Payne, and I am an engagement specialist with New Worlds Reading. I am covering for your engagement specialist in your area, Nasika Dennis. She had an event that she could not get out of today. So first off, New Worlds Reading is a free in-home book delivery program for VPK through 5th grade students who are not reading on grade level. So with that being said, if you'll hit the next slide, I'll tell you all about New Worlds and answer your questions at the end. So the Lastinger Center was actually chosen to administer the program when we were signed into law in July of 2021. The Lastinger Center celebrated 20 years in 2022. We have many other resources that come out of New Worlds Reading. We develop and scale equitable educational innovations for adults, children, and we want to put them on the trajectory to be lifelong learners. Next slide. So New Worlds Reading, we want your children to be excited about reading. So we create in-home libraries by sending them books in the mail. They get 9 books per school year. We want to build the caregiver's confidence and capacity to support the child's reading development by providing strategies and tips, tricks, and tools to encourage meaningful engagement. We recognize the value of partnership, and we're thankful for the partnership with you all. We aim to establish community partnerships throughout the state to increase awareness and support children and families. We want to build excitement, so we've launched this statewide campaign. Under the New Worlds Reading Initiative, corporate taxpayers can make monetary contributions to the University of the Florida Lastinger Center to receive dollar-for-dollar tax credit for select Florida taxes. We also have Teacher PD to develop teacher experts in the science of reading through micro-credentials and create home-to-school connections and literacy. Next slide, please. We're able to provide a range of high quality books because of our partnership with the world's largest distributor of children's books, Scholastic. We work in collaboration with the Florida Department of Education to develop a growing book list. Books include both fiction and nonfiction, covering a wide variety of genres and topics to appeal to the students' interests. Books are available in English, Spanish, Haitian Creole, and Braille. This year, we're giving students and families, VPK, kindergarten through 5th grade, the opportunity when they complete an application to complete, to pick out what types of books that they like. So there's 3 different genres they get to do, and they're pre-selected and they are approved by the Department of Education. For VPK, they have a book set that is already picked for them. Each book is delivered to the child, comes with a family reading guide, and contains reading tips, vocabulary words, key questions, and relatable activities. Next slide, please. So to be eligible, you have to be in a district or a public charter school. For our students in VPK through 2nd grade, they score 40th percent or below on the FAST STAR Early Literacy or Reading. Or for my friends in grades 3 through 5, they score a level 1 or 2. Or students who are on a tier 2 or tier 3 reading intervention support. So it's one of those things one time in their educational career. So if we can capture a student in VPK, they get 7 years worth of free books and resources. So that is why we are hoping to partner with ELCs across the state to get our early learners enrolled in our program. Next slide, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Along with the books, families receive literacy resources. We're developing a number of family engagement supports, including family reading guides, videos, and text messages. We've also created a clearinghouse of information regarding other local, state, and national organization resources to help increase caregivers' access to needed supports for children enrolled in our initiative, as well as their siblings and other family members. The clearinghouse is located under Family Resources at newworldsreading.com. The goal of our resources is to provide support for families to engage in literacy at home and share the experience of a book together. Next slide, please. As you see here, we have over 1 million students in the state of Florida who are eligible for our program based on the information the Department of Education has sent us. We have serviced over 475,000 students in our inception, and we have over 11.4 million books and resources that have been shipped. Next slide, please. So here are the QR codes to our toolkits. These can be found by scanning that QR code, or you have access to them under the resources tab on our newworldsreading.com website. So reaching our families and our students where they are is our goal. So we have provided a toolkit that has resources for you, the ELC provider, to copy paste to send out digitally to via email, that you literally copy and paste the entire email. It has logos, all of our pictures, everything that you need to be successful in sharing our program is in there. Next slide, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me try that again.
Thank you. So engagement opportunities. Next slide. We have engagement opportunities across the state of Florida. We provide dinner when we come in and host a literacy event. We bring activities and books. So year-to-date activities that you see them, we are very active across the state. We have family literacy events. We have caregiver workshops. We can come in and do a presentation like I'm doing now. We even come to like open house events and things and table and share our information. Next slide, please. So that QR code there will take you to an event request form where you can get in touch with your engagement specialist to discuss any and all opportunities that you have for us to collaborate together. Like I said, we are across the state. We cover all of the regions. I am actually in the Panhandle area. So we have, like I said, Nasika Dennis is your engagement specialist. Next slide, please. So we have partnerships with our, next slide, please. I'm sorry. So regional partners, we have regional partners across the state. Lassinger Center understands that partnerships with our school districts and our schools, our early learning coalitions, and our community organizations throughout the state are critical to our success of our program. So we partnered with numerous organizations across the state, both at the state level and the individual communities, to scale the reach of New Worlds Reading in the following areas. For our parent and family literacy workshops, our community literacy workshops, and teacher professional learning. Next slide, please. And these are some of our regional partners. They have the same fidelity of our program. They contract with us, and they extend the reach for each one of our engagement specialists across the state, like myself. Next slide, please. So the Kabim wand. The Kabim wand is a handheld device that reads aloud, checks understanding, and encourages kids to tilt, point, and swirl the device as they engage with a paperback book. The Lassinger Center for Learning and Kabim Learning are engaging in a formal research study to pilot the use of the Kabim wand with a group of New Worlds Reading families and scholastic books. Families introduced to the device are encouraged to use it as part of their reading experience. Data is collected in a variety of areas, including literacy, content development, interactivity, device design, and engagement. We hope to use this data to better understand the relationship between books, readers, technology, and interactive content. With better insight into the relationship, we can design programs, products, and projects that can effectively address challenges with the literacy and reading engagement. Bonus, if a student is in kindergarten, first, and second grade, and they are enrolled in our program, they are eligible for the Kabim Wand books, and they get the additional New Worlds Reading books. So they actually get 2 sets of books. Next slide, please. So our application process is at our events, or when you have events and you can have caregivers enroll their students, they apply for the application. From the application, there is a verification process that has to go through. And then once they get an email that says your student is eligible for our program, the books will start shipping 6 to 8 weeks after that. Now, our books don't start shipping for this year until October. So if they complete an application right now, again, we're going to be in that October timeframe before they receive the enrollment email that their child has been selected. If they complete an application and their student is not eligible at this time, then that application will be held every time that student tests in the state of Florida between now and the end of 5th grade. We're going to try and enroll that student in our program based on their test scores. So every students get 9 books per school year, October to June. Next slide, please. So we have educator resources. You, the educators, please visit our website under educator resources. There are a plethora of things there. There are teacher reading guides there that give you the opportunity to share with your class a reading lesson, and it's already, everything is done. It tells you what to do. You probably already have the book in your classroom, or you can have access to the book from somewhere. Like I said, they're all scholastic books, but it tells you first do this, next do this, last do this. It's a fun activity, and all those resources are free. We also have teacher professional learning opportunities for our classroom teachers in the state of Florida as well. So I apologize that I cannot hear you and I cannot interact with you. So I feel free, I will give you my email address. Feel free to send any questions that you have if you wanted to compile them out of the chat and send them to me, or you can send them straight to Nasika, whichever that you prefer.
Thank you so much, Ms. Shelley. I'm so sorry you can't hear us. We do have a couple of questions and we'll email those to you and look forward to your responses. Thank you. For
Or
those
if
of
you
you,
prefer, I've got the captions on. I can actually see what you're saying. If you want to just ask the questions, perhaps I could answer them for you really quick.
okay, we can try that. So we did have a question. The question was, are private schools eligible for New World Reading?
Private schools, unfortunately, are not eligible for our program in year 5. We're in year 5 right now. Unless a private school has a VPK program, we can capture that student in that VPK program at that private school.
Okay. All right. Okay, and does that include private childcare providers?
If that a private child care provider has a VPK program where they have to have the certificate, the eligibility certificate for that student, and they have to report the attendance for those students at the end of the month and they're getting reimbursed for them, then yes, but only those VPK students.
All right, that was all the questions that we have. Thank you so much for your patience with technology, Ms. Shelley. Thank you for your time.
No, I apologize. Technology can be challenging, so I thank you all. And you have Nasika's email. If you have any questions, please follow up with her. I know she is looking forward to building a relationship with you all. Thank you.
We're looking forward to it too. Awesome. Okay. Next is Miss Elizabeth Yola to talk about Give for Marion. And let me just make sure she is not muted. Okay. You said yourself muted, Elizabeth.
All right. Hopefully I am not muted anymore. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you, Ms. Shelley. Awesome information. Looking forward to hearing more and getting to know our local rep as well, who I am sure is going to be just as fabulous. We're going through some transition, and I know on your agenda it says that Latricia Sims, who is our interim CEO, will be joining us. She had a conflict today at the same time as our meeting, so she's going to join us as soon as she can. So I'm going to talk about Give for Marion really quickly. So Give for Marion is a community-wide fundraising effort that a ton of different nonprofit organizations participate in across our community in Marion County. As you all know, we are one of those, and we depend on Give for Marion because we are not technically allowed to fundraise. However, we need funds because we have this beautiful building here at ELC and lots of programming that is not supported through our state dollars, or that we cannot use funding from the state dollars to support, such as Dolly Parton's Imagination Library, any kind of food. So we do offer the Incredible Years parenting program, and we serve dinner with that as part of it. So we have to look for very creative ways to fill in those gaps, and Give for Marion is one of them. We're hoping that we can garner your support from our providers, even if it's just a little bit. We're asking our full board for 100% board giving so that our board members each provide some financial support to the coalition. Or if you have somebody that you know would love to get into help support this cause and is feeling generous, we also could use diaper funds, things of that nature. So, or diaper donations. So Give for Marion is coming up in September. So why am I telling you about it now? Because it's early, because we won't talk to you again before it starts. So Give for Marion, I meant to pull it up. I had it pulled up and then it went away because I was also having some technical issues with my muting and unmuting of myself. Give for Marion will kick off September, I want to say it's the 19th and 20th. Let's see. Give for Marion. Basically, the week before, you're going to start seeing different things from us about if you know of somebody that would like to donate. Every year, I can tell you I donate on behalf of my mom, who was, many of you that know me, she was a teacher for 45 years. So giving back to the coalition, even from myself, my perspective is supporting our ongoing efforts for education. So Give for Marion goes live. I can't believe this. It doesn't tell me what the dates are.
September
It goes live
16th
in
to the
26
17th.
days. Say it
Here you
again.
go. We found it. September 16th to the 17th.
16th and 17th. Thank you. I don't know why I wanted
Thank
to say
God for
1920.
Google.
Right? I Googled it too, and then I went right to their website. On their website, there's a beautiful background picture of Marion County, one of the horse farms here, and it says it starts in 26 days, 20 hours, 34 minutes, and 30 seconds. So hopefully you will consider a small donation, or if you know of a partner that we can connect with, we would love to get other people involved in our Give for Marion efforts. So if you have any questions, let me know. Our coordinator is our own Wendy Williams here. She puts a lot of work and effort off the clock into this to try to garner as much support and community backing as we can. And let us know if you have any questions or if you want to participate. So then, well, let me stop. Lily, do you see any questions for me for that?
No, ma'am.
Awesome. Okay. So the next thing that I'm up for is to talk about a director support group. So we have, over the many, many years that I've been involved with the coalition, I've watched you all try your best to create a group of directors to come together and just talk about the hard stuff and talk about ways you can identify and really problem solve some of the things that you all are facing on a regular basis as childcare providers and those in leadership that are running sites and just handling the different things that you go through on a daily basis, from parent drama to attendance issues to staffing issues to training issues, all of that, anything in between. You all have made a lot of efforts over the years. We also have made some efforts over the years to try to bring a group together, and it's really difficult. People are just, we're really busy. I don't know about you, but my day starts at 5:45 in the morning. Some of you are shaking your head, yes, that me too. And others are saying, I'm up at 4. And we're not going to bed till like 9:30, 10 o'clock at night after everything else is done and all the things that we do for other people. So we want to try again, and we are going to be looking for some high performing child care facilities and homes. And I say high performing, looking at class scores. What we're going to do is I will start reaching out here as soon as I get more information wrapped around this potential opportunity here. We're going to look at those of you that are scoring really high in your class observations, and I'm going to reach out to you and I'm going to ask you if you'd like to participate in a director support group to help create some best practices and come together to share what is it that you're doing that's working. Because so many times we hear about the hard stuff and the stuff that I mentioned earlier, but let's come at this from a lens of support and a lens of growth and a lens of let's find what is working instead of what isn't working. We can have those vent sessions, that's no problem, but let's find some solutions and make this a really supportive, solution-based program that will really bring some answers to some hard things. So as we developed this, and this came from our program committee. So the coalition recently started a program committee. We used to have one many years ago, and we kicked it off again. And I want to thank Kim Lacagnata and Jennifer Beck. Jen is our chair for this committee, and Kim is one of our first members, and then Dr. Sarah James is going to eventually get involved, I think, and I think, and I don't want to throw other names out there until I confirm it, there are some other people that are interested in being a part of our program committee. And this actually came from reviewing data that was shared in that committee. So this idea was born from Mrs. Beck, so thank you. And we want to take it and run with it, because you can never have enough support, right? You can never have enough answers. You can never have enough of what is working so that you can try different things. So if you're interested in participating, or if you want to participate in our program committee, and the program committee happens quarterly, and it is basically a review of how all of our programs are doing here at the Early Learning Coalition. It is data. And if you're interested, just shoot me an email and I'll get a list going, and that is the Director Support Group. Let me pause and see if there's any questions.
There are no questions, but the lovely Miss Latricia Sims is on the call.
Yay.
Yay.
Welcome
and yeah. And Miss Sims, you are unmuted. On my end, it says you're self-muted, so feel free to speak whenever you're ready.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay. So, good afternoon, everyone. On August the 11th, an email was sent out regarding the coalition's leadership transition. I just want to take a moment to share that the executive committee of our board has appointed me as the interim CEO during this period of transition. Our commitment to serving and supporting you, the providers and families in Marion County, will continue to be our top priority. We want you to be assured that the coalition will continue to operate without any interruption in services to you and the families that we serve. We do understand that there have been questions regarding the wait list and the release of funding for parents who have applied for the school readiness program. At this time, we are carefully evaluating the estimated fiscal impact of recent rule changes, specifically the new policy requiring coalitions to absorb the cost of the sibling copays. Um, this change means that parents are no longer responsible for copayments related to additional children in their household, and the coalition will have to cover the full reimbursement amount. So, if you have parents that are currently receiving services and they have had an increase to their family size, or they need an additional placement, those parents can be honored. Those placements can be made as long as those parents are still meeting a purpose for care. Just have them reach out to us, contact their family services counselors, um, and they will be able to assist them. We also appreciate your patience and understanding as we work through these financial considerations as well as this transition. Please know that we are here to support you through this process. And if you have any questions or concerns, you can email me. That will be the best method of communication with me at this time. Additionally, as mandated by state guidelines, we have child care provider representatives on our board of directors to assist you with any concerns. Their primary duty is to be the voice of providers in our areas. So they are the voice for you. Um, the representatives for faith-based centers is Kim Lacanada. I hope I didn't say her name wrong, of preschool at the Springs, and for centers and family child care homes, it is Mr. Cecil Wilson of Mary's Family Child Care. So you can reach out to them as well. While we are always welcome, you're always welcome to contact us directly. They are your board representatives, and they can assist you with additional resources, ask questions, and share information with you. So we do look forward to continuing our strong partnership with each of you and making a positive impact on the lives of children and families here in Marion County. And I just want to personally say thank you to each one of you for all that you do.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Latricia Sims. Thank you. All right, and then next on our list is Miss Janet Honor. And let me just make sure I've got her. It says there you go.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, I can hear you.
All right, good. Good afternoon, everyone. As always, we're going to discuss VPK and progress monitoring. With the beginning of the new VPK program year, it is very important to make sure that you start your progress monitoring testing now. PM1 is the first 30 instructional days of the VPK class schedule, beginning with the first instructional day. This means you may begin testing the VPK students now. I encourage you not to wait until that last week. If you do wait until that last week and the child, one or two child, or even three children are missing that test, they get tested late, that data is not counted. So please note that. Also, I want to encourage you guys to review your STAR reports. Lily, can you scroll down for me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So providers, please remember to run the STAR test activity report. This report is going to show you students that have been tested and have not been tested. The students that have not been tested that may have um, been entered in as non-participation status. There is resources for you, a guide for you to review to learn how to run that report. The next report is instructional planning report. The instructional planning report for the class and also for the student. And then you also want to run that STAR diagnostic report. The next report, and I'm going to skip over a little bit. The next report is also the STAR parent report. When you complete the STAR assessment, you have 7 days to provide the parent or the families with that STAR parent report. 7 days after that student has tested, okay? Not 7 days after the whole class, 7 days after that individual student has tested. Now with non-participation status, there won't be a STAR parent report for that. So if the child um, did the 3 attempts and they failed all 3 attempts, you'll be sure to mark them as non-participation status. And those are assessment inappropriate, failed practice, not present during testing window, and non-English speaker. Not present during testing window means that they were not present during the entire 30 days, their entire 30 instructional days. Okay, so you don't want to put that they weren't present during testing window if they attended school for the majority of that testing window. Okay, now go down for me, Lily. Okay,
How,
yep, you're there. Thank you, you're there.
mhm.
Sorry. Do I have any questions before I move on to VPK apps?
I'm looking, and yes,
Okay, go ahead.
we still have students pending approval from the coalition in our VPK enrollment tab. When can we have them all approved?
I will. Can you put your name and your center name and email address, we will be sure that our VPK manager follows up with you.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, okay, we know exactly who it is now.
okay. Okay. Yeah.
We'll get in touch with you. Don't worry, ma'am.
Yeah. If you find that you're having an issue there, send an email to family service at elc-marion.org, or send an email to quality at elc-marion.org. The quality department will make sure that we connect you with the VPK manager. Okay.
Okay.
Any other questions before I move on?
Looking, nope, ma'am, that's it.
Okay, great. So VPK apps, the status of VPK apps. This process has been a little different this year, as apps has been coming in a little later. In total, the Provider Relations Department has over 150 VPK classrooms to review and process. This means there's a lead teacher and an aide for each and every classroom, plus director. So with that, we want to make sure that you keep your VPK classrooms up to date. That's for the provider relations team to make sure that your VPK app is certified, so our quality assessment team can know what to review when looking at your VPK app, and your teachers and directors for them to do your program assessment, which is class. And Miss Melissa Mason that will speak more on that later. But the first part starts with provider relations approving that VPK application for you. So make sure that your classroom is up to date. The teachers, aides, and subs all have the correct credentials, and that their DCF transcripts are up to date. Make sure that your VPK app remains in certified status. If you decide to submit your VPK app because you make a change, we don't always see that in the queue. So please send us an email again at quality@elc-marion.org. Let us know what you change so we can review that, okay? And get that certified for you. Um, with that being said, if there's any discrepancies on any documentation or your calendars, we're going to reject it, send you an email, and ask you to fix it. We ask that you be patient with us as we are working through your VPK apps and provider profiles as well. Any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Now moving on to school readiness. Okay, so this is a big one for us, contract amendments. Providers, I'm asking that you please, please, please take the time to sign your contract amendment when it has been initiated. It's very important to note that contract amendments for new class composite scores must be completed to reflect the change in the score and the differential rate. This means that if a provider previously scored a 4.5 on their class assessment, and now with their new class assessment, they've scored a 5.5, they are going to receive a 7% differential, that increase. That is reflected during the next month, that next billing cycle. So if you don't sign your contract amendment, that can't be processed appropriately, okay? Also, vice versa, if you received the 5.5 last program year and now you're down to 4, you no longer have that 7% increase. And we don't want to overpay you. You have to sign your amendments, okay? Any other amendments that have to be initiated for if you change your curriculum, if you change if your liability insurance is updated, if you do not sign the contract amendment and it stays in the queue, we are going to cancel that amendment. You're going to get an email reminder. After that third email reminder, we're going to cancel that contract amendment and you will be out of compliance. Okay? Any questions before I move on to contractual documents?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're
Okay,
welcome.
so now we're going to go on to contractual documents. Providers, I ask that you please be sure that your contractual documents are updated in the provider profile, into the provider profile on or before the date of expiration. Documents not submitted on time will lead to a non-compliance. These contractual documents include the following: your liability insurance, auto insurance, workers' comp, DCF license, or religious exemption letter, accreditation, religious accreditation or membership, excuse me, or membership, Gold Seal accreditation, SunBiz documentation. That's very important. For VPK providers, that's your VPK director's credential, and all VPK instructors. The DCF transcript must be uploaded. We're going to be looking for the FCCPC or that CDA, and also the emergent literacy requirement. If that has expired, then your program is out of compliance and you can't deliver VPK services. This also includes background screenings for all instructors, including the VPK director. Um, the last thing, there are two more things to say. There are additional VPK Fast Start Early Literacy tips for you. It's a lot of information here, so I'm not going to go over that, but I encourage you to read that. And then also, I just want to just reintroduce my staff to you. You all know our client service counselors for provider relations, which is Mary Brewster, and then also Miss Cheyenne Ford. As they send you emails with reminders or for profile updates, VPK apps, or documents due, I just ask that you be patient with us as we do our best to work with you. And we are also doing our best to be patient with you because we know that it takes a lot of time to get things processed. And we appreciate everything that you do. So I'm going to turn it over to Miss Lily, and she's going to go over staff training day.
Thank you so much, Miss Janet. I appreciate you.
Welcome.
I'm glad that Miss Janet went over amendments because staff training day is related to Exhibit 6 of your contract. This is where you list the holidays that the coalition, that the school readiness providers will get reimbursed by the coalition. The coalition pays for 10 holidays, and then the 11th day that you're allowed to list there is supposed to be for a staff training day. And so you don't get 11 holidays, you get 10 holidays, and then the 11th day is in the case of that you want to have a staff training day. Now, staff training day, that's not where you clean house and all that kind of stuff. This is where your teachers on site must do trainings during your operational hours. And it has to be, if you're open from 6 to 6, that's over 10 hours. So that means you have to do at least 5 hours of training. Okay, you have to do at least 50% of whatever your license says. However many hours you're open, you have to do at least 50%. And if you're open 10 or more hours, it has to be 5 hours. Okay. And for those who have already had staff training days in July, I've already reached out to those providers and they've been verified. And those who have staff training days listed in August, I have reached out to you personally through email. I've also reached out through phone call, and if I couldn't get a hold of you, I left a message. Verification, documentation, proof that that training day happened, which includes a sign-in, sign-out sheet, and a couple of other things, which are all listed in the Rule 6M-4.5 FAQs that are attached to the handouts, must be submitted through your document library. We actually have a staff training day folder there in your document library in your provider profile for verification. If we cannot verify that that training happened with the proper information, then you will not be reimbursed for that day. Okay. More procedure will be coming and will be added to the provider newsletter, so that way you guys know exactly what the expectations are. In the meantime, if you have any questions, please reach out to us, quality@elc-marion.org. I know that some of you have already sent questions, and I am responding to those as quickly as I can. Let me just check here. Also, we are reaching the 2 o'clock threshold. I appreciate everybody's patience and joining us for this meeting. If you have to leave at 2 o'clock, I completely understand. Just know that we're going to continue this meeting until we cover all the topics, and it will be recorded and available on YouTube within the by Tuesday of next week. So if you miss it and you got to go, no worries. It's going to be recorded and available on YouTube. Okay. If you stay, we welcome you to stay and hang out. Appreciate you. Okay. With that being said, let me see if there's any questions about staff training day. Also, uploaded to the handouts is what to expect when you're being observed. Please feel free to download that as well. That was added to the handouts. Just want to say that before you leave at the 2 o'clock mark. Make sure everybody has a chance to get that. And let me look for Mary. Mary, feel free to give us your tips.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. I'm so glad you could join us. I'm here to speak today about background screenings. When providers upload their documents to the VPK apps, we ask that you do not fill in any dates. When you submit, we will fill the dates in. Background screenings are valid for 5 years from the DCF eligibility date. They expire 5 years from that date, or if the print retained date is before the 5-year date, it'll be due the print retained date. And you can always ask us questions if you have questions about that. Up on the screen now, Lily has pulled up. This is on our website. When you go to our website and click on providers and find provider resources, you will get a nice little list like this: school readiness providers resources, VPK provider resources, the newsletters, and I like this one that I clicked, the how-to tip sheets. All your tip sheets are here. How to get your SR reimbursement contract rule, how to flip your school agers from part-time to full-time, your guide to attendance processing. Very important is how to get your reimbursement reports. You all should be pulling your monthly reimbursement reports. You need to keep those reports as part of your 5-year records. This is a requirement. Also, there is a copy is how to enter your temporary closures if you need to. And I'm not sure about the reclaim form. That has to do with attendance and reimbursement department. But right there and right at the top there is your provider portal user guide. Please refer to that often. The table of contents is very easy to spot what you're looking for. And let's see, that's it. That's it for me. I did it. I hope you all have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Mary. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Another resource I just want to bring your guys' attention to. There's a subject that I wanted to make sure everybody is aware, is your Florida Department of Education. Through the Florida Department of Education Early Learning website, you can go here to VPK Program Accountability, and right here you can see this is where you can get the results for the whole state of Florida. So you can click on this and it'll bring up the results of the whole state of Florida for the VPK programs, what their scores were, and it explains the metrics. And then here's a memo that shares how the whole state did overall. So if you guys are interested, this is how you get to that information. Anybody who, and this also has all the information regarding providers who may be on probation or incomplete status, or may need other assistance. There's other resources for that here as well. Okay. And also in the handouts this is a kind of a shortened version of the VPK performance metric guide and designations to help you guys understand where those scores are coming from for our VPK providers. And then of course, all of this will be on the newsletter as well. All right, and next up is going to be Miss Melissa Masonet. Let me make sure. Miss Melissa, can we hear you?
Good afternoon, everyone. Can you hear
Beautiful.
me?
Yes, ma'am, we can hear you. Wonderful.
Good afternoon. So I'm going to go quickly through the 3 points that I have today. The first is that I know that you probably are seeing that I'm the one who's sending you now the emails about the QPS monthly roster. So I just want to have clear that the monthly staff roster needs to be submitted to the coalition for us to be reviewed every month. So just get used to send your monthly roster at the same time that you are sending your attendance, those first days of the month. And if you have any changes made you change a teacher or you change a classroom or you needed to add or close a classroom, that's the best moment to do those changes. Why? Because when I go and look at your classrooms and your staff, it helps me have like an estimate of how many classrooms I will need to be observing. I need to be observed when is your time for your observation. And that really helped us a lot here in the quality assessment department. So if you please can submit your QPS monthly roster every month on time, it will be appreciated. I will keep sending those emails reminders, but just keep in mind that if you submit your monthly roster the last day of the month, like very late, it's not going to count for, let's say, this month of August. It's going to count towards the month of September. So just keep in mind of trying to do that in the first 2 weeks of the month. So that way it's easier for you and easier for us also. That is all with the QPS monthly roster. Now, the second point that I wanted to address was the selection of blackout dates. 2 weeks windows are sent usually between 2 weeks to a month ahead. And it's because of two reasons that we do everything ahead here in the quality assessment department. The first is to give the provider the opportunity to get ready for the observation, because remember that every time I send that 2 weeks window, you have a lot of attachments that can be shared with the teachers to help them get ready for the observation. And the second one is that it helps us get ready ahead of time of the days and the dates and the assessors that are going to be needed for your observation. So that is why it's so necessary that you send those 3 blackout dates as soon as you can. I know that sometimes because I send things ahead of time, like a month ahead or 2 weeks ahead, you need to sit with your staff and make sure who's going to be there and who's not going to be there to be able to choose those 3 days. But please do not wait until your window open or after 2 days after your window start to send those blackout dates, because by that time, I already scheduled your observation. And it's very difficult for us to try to accommodate everybody, especially when others did their due diligence on time and then the others didn't. So it is very important that you select those 3 blackout dates. If let's say that your window will start next Monday and by this Friday by 3:30 I don't have any blackout dates, I'm assuming that you don't need any. Because you cannot email me like Monday or Tuesday, oh, these are my 3 blackout dates, because your window already started. So let's try to, do things ahead of time so that way we can help each other. And then last but not least, you're gonna see in your handouts, we have Miss Liliana Howard added a handout in there that is what to expect when you are about to be observed. On that package, there's some information that is very helpful. That information was taken from Tishton, and it's going to be good if you can share that information with the teachers. So that way everybody get nervous when we're doing observation, but that's going to help them to like have an idea of what it is class and have an idea of why we're going there and what is our purpose when we go to do an observation in a classroom. And that's it for me. Have a good day, everybody.
Thank you, Miss Melissa. All right, and that wraps it up for Miss Melissa. And the next is Miss Michaela Powell, and it says that you are self-muted.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Hello, good afternoon, everyone. On the screen, you will see the statewide VPK provider monitoring tool that we use per DEL. This tool is available to any provider. The coalition conducts the on-site monitoring of a random sample of its contracted VPK program providers on an annual basis. The counselors send out a letter advising that you have been selected for a VPK monitor and the documents that are needed with a due date. Please try to adhere to those due dates, but if you have any issues, please don't hesitate to communicate with your counselor or myself. Please remember that these visits are unannounced. On the screen where you see she's moving the showing you the tool, it's asking different questions as far as like if you have your 5-year records, your VPK attendance records. Do you have records backed up on a regular basis to safeguard against any loss? This is for basically your attendance. The VPK classroom review, they just asked which class is being monitored, if you're monitoring during the instructional hours, what time, are you on schedule, the credentials that you have, the VPK teachers have, any background screenings. Just please take time to review the contract as well as the monitoring tool so that you know what is required of you to remain in compliance with your VPK contract. As stated previously, this information is available to all providers and you can see exactly what we're looking for. Also, I just wanted to let you all know the compliance department does have a new counselor, Miss Annie Boyd. She was previously the instructional support coach in the professional development department. So you all will be hearing from her as well. She is a new counselor in the compliance department. Any questions?
No questions at this time, Miss Michaela. All right, and the monitoring tool was added to the handouts, so you should already see that in the handouts as well. Okay. That ends our meeting for today. Thank you so much, everyone, for your patience. It looks like we got to end at 2:02, not too bad. Just 2 minutes over. Thank you. And again, should you have any questions or concerns, just feel free to contact us, quality@elc-marion.org, and we're always happy to help. Anything related to professional development or staff training day, feel free to send it to training@elc-marion.org. We're happy to help with any of that as well. Thank you, you all, and have a wonderful day.